is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
You got to slow up. I mean, you go to speed limit, sometimes you might have to go slower. It depends on the traffic. That's where a lot of people, they'll get right behind somebody, you ain't going to be able to stop.
New tonight, a message about staying aware and staying safe on the road while a community mourns for 2 women and a baby killed in a horrific highway crash. It happened Sunday morning on I-65 near Whitestown. Investigators say 14 others were also hurt.
Tonight, we are learning more about the driving history of the man charged with causing that crash. He also has a message to the victims' families.
But first, Cornelius Hawker shares a message from another trucker who says this should serve as a reminder to all of us to be careful.
Wayne Baumgartner has been a truck driver since 1981, so he knows a thing or two about being safe on the road.
You just got to be more cautious. Constantly, you got to check your mirrors, everything.
While stopped in central Indiana, he's heard all about Sunday's deadly accident. Authorities say it was caused by a semi-truck driver who didn't see traffic slowing down.
You just can't barrel down the road at, 70 miles an hour going through, rush hour traffic. You just can't do it. You got to slow up.
That driver, Matthew Small, told police he took his eyes off the road to sit his coffee mug down, and that's why he didn't see traffic that was backed up. Wayne tells me there's never a good excuse to take your eyes off the road, especially as a truck driver.
The dangerous, you got 20, tons behind you pushing you. You're not going to be able to stop on a dime.
Knowing that, Wayne believes there used to be an unwritten rule truck drivers would follow.
Drivers at one time, they would go ahead and go in a ditch. Nowadays, the new breed just don't do that.
The crash killed 3 people, Kaylee Kirk, Mariah Tomey, and 1-year-old Haley Tomey. Small, charged in connection with their deaths, asked the Boone County Sheriff's Office to share this note, writing, quote, "My heart and prayers are with the families. I am in agony over this whole ordeal."
Now that driver, he's got to live with that the rest of his life.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Call 6 Investigates has learned the truck driver involved in yesterday's crash has a history of violations.
Yeah, he's been warned many times about his driving professionally and personally. Call 6 looked into Matthew Small's driving record back until 2002. Violations include a ticket for following too closely in his tractor trailer on I-69 near Carmel in July of 2019. He was given a ticket in May of last year for speeding in a commercial vehicle in Ohio and cited for speeding in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2017 while driving his car. You can read a detailed report about Small's driving history by clicking on this story in the RTV6 app.
We're also learning more about the victims of the crash from those that knew them. Jacob Bird worked with Mariah Tomey. He says he is still in shock over the deaths.
And she was just so nice to everybody. Like, she stood up for me at work, and she didn't tolerate people being rude to each other, and she was always smiling and joking, and yeah, it seems surreal.
Both Kirk and Tomey graduated from Lebanon High School. According to the school, both students were very involved there. Because of that, counselors are available to help anyone grieving their losses.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast, giving you a live look outside from our Weather Now camera at from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, looking at the downtown Indy skyline. Meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us tonight with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, Mark, it's a cool night for us here across the area, but a quiet night. That is the good news. As you can see in and around the metro area, temperatures hovering generally right around the freezing mark, right at freezing in Plainfield. 30 in Greenwood will expand out for you, and you notice the temperatures are in the 20s now in both Lafayette as well as Columbus, with a little bit of cloud cover across parts of central Indiana. And as you look across the state line, a few snow showers now starting to break out, and it's not completely out of the question that there could be a hit or miss flurry or two as we work our way throughout the overnight hours, but we are not going to be dealing with any issues on the roadways. So overnight tonight, it is cold with mostly cloudy skies, a few flurries, but your morning commute tomorrow should not feature any problems. Just need to bundle up a little bit with temperatures in the 20s. Overall, temperatures remain above normal, but a big storm by the end of the week. More on that, Mark, coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, we'll see you soon. Thank you. A new look. Indianapolis City County Council held its first meeting tonight. Democrats flipped 6 seats in the November election, giving them a 20-5 advantage in control of the council. This group of councilors include 4 members of the LGBTQ community, which is an historic first for the city. city. Tonight's meeting included the re-election of Vop Asuli as council president. And it's back to business at the State House. A new session that started today. Lawmakers will work on new legislation over the next 10 weeks. The House Republicans today announced their priorities for 2020. They include making sure schools and teachers are not penalized for last year's low iLearn test scores. House Speaker Brian Bosma says he believes standardized testing is important, but it's important to get it right.
It has to be prompt. Results have to be reported promptly to teachers and parents and administrators. It has to be fiscally responsible, and it has to be effective. We all acknowledged, everyone acknowledged, that when a new set of standards and testing is put into place, there's going to be a drop in scores.
The state switched from iLearn to iLearn from iStep last year, there. The top Democratic representative is criticizing the proposal. Representative Phil Gianquinta says that, quote, this is a short-term fix to a long-term problem in our state. We've spent $133 million on standardized tests in the past 2 years and do not have much to show for it, end quote.
Also today at the State House, community and police leaders met with Governor Eric Holcomb to discuss violence in Indianapolis and how to stop it.
Over the Christmas holiday, Christmas week and New Year's week, these are the numbers. We had 33 people shot, 14 stabbed, and 7 people killed. Of the 7 killed, 2 were babies and 2 were women. That's just in the last 2 weeks alone, when everybody else was slowing down and they were on vacation and taking a break. Violence takes no vacation, as you can see.
Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder has been very vocal about violence in the city. Last week, he made several recommendations to reduce violence, including more accountability for violators in the juvenile justice system and a public database to track criminal histories. The leader of the 10-Point Coalition, Reverend Charles Harrison, also took part in today's meeting with the governor.
We talked about this model being a model that could be used in collaboration with law enforcement and community groups across the state in helping to curb this national problem that we are having, which is urban gun violence.
Last week, Reverend Harrison told RTV6 10-Point is shifting its patrol zone and now includes the neighborhood east of Mithofer Road between 38th and 42nd Street and east toward German Church Road. A suspect in a homicide case on the west side of Indianapolis is off the streets tonight. Today, police arrested Lyman Spurlock in connection to a deadly shooting in a neighborhood near 10th and Raceway. Investigators found LaShawn Parker shot to death around 9:45 last night. The prosecutor's office will review the case and make a charging decision. A man accused in a shooting that led to a standoff on the north side of Indianapolis is in custody tonight. Officers were called to a home on Marquee Lane near 79th Street and Township Line Road around 4:40 this afternoon. The shooting victim found on the sidewalk said he was shot by a friend. That led to a SWAT situation with the suspect. He was taken into custody shortly after 7 o'clock. 3 weapons are off the street and violence may have been prevented thanks to concerned neighbors. Kokomo police say they confiscated 2 handguns with extended magazines and a mini AK-47 pistol in Studebaker Park yesterday after getting several phone calls about people in the park instigating a fight with guns. When officers arrived, they found the guns near a picnic area and arrested 1 person. Senators plan to meet later this week to discuss rising tensions with Iran. Lawmakers are divided over the handling of the U.S. airstrike that killed an Iranian general. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the latest developments from Washington.
Speaking from the Senate floor, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell criticized his Democratic colleagues amid growing tensions with Iran days after the killing of the country's top general, Qasem Soleimani.
Unfortunately, in this toxic political environment, some of our colleagues rushed to blame our own government before even knowing the facts.
Democrats are demanding answers, claiming the Trump administration left Congress in the dark about the president's ordered airstrike.
In just about every foreign policy area President Trump touches, we're worse off than we were before he started with it.
In the streets of Tehran, chants of death to America could be heard at the funeral procession for Soleimani. ABC's Martha Raddatz is there.
Trump made a big mistake. He killed our hero. Revenge must happen, and it is certain.
What kind of revenge do you want?
anything.
Washington now on alert, bracing for Iran's next move. The president tweeting in all caps, quote, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Following Tehran's announcement, it will no longer abide by any operational constraints under the 2015 nuclear deal. In Iraq, members of the parliament, angry over the killing of Soleimani and an Iraqi militia leader on their soil, took a non-binding vote to expel all American troops. And now the U.S. government and NATO have announced a pause from fighting ISIS so they can protect their own forces and bases from danger. Some 4,000 new U.S. troops being deployed to the region. And on Wednesday, there will be an all-Senate meeting to discuss the Soleimani strike and the rising tensions with Iran. Monaco Sarandi, ABC News, Washington.
The battle over impeachment proceedings also continues on Capitol Hill. A potential witness may take the stand in the Senate trial. Today, former National Security Advisor John Bolton released a statement saying, quote, if the Senate issues a subpoena for my testimony, I am prepared to testify. Democrats have been demanding to hear from 4 witnesses, including Bolton. His attorney previously stated Bolton had relevant information to share. At least one Republican senator says he would not vote to subpoena.
I wouldn't, because I think, in my view, our inquiry should be based on the testimony that they took. That we are acting on articles of impeachment, and I believe we should be constrained by the information that those articles were based on. If the House wants to start a new impeachment inquiry or pull it back and add additional elements to it on their end, that's their choice to make. That's my view of it.
After Bolton's announcement, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tweeted, the president and Senator McConnell have run out of excuses.
What appears to be a tragic accident in Johnson County will impact traffic through the morning drive.
A crew attempting to sail from Japan to Hawaii is back on land after their boat overturned and they lost all communication. How mirrors help save their lives.
And the battle of the best Jeopardy contestants in history starts tomorrow. The show's highest money winners will face off in a special primetime competition hosted by Alex Trebek. Watch Ken Jennings, James Holzhauer, and Brad Rutter compete starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow, only on RTV6.
We're fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Johnson County officials say road restrictions are expected through tomorrow morning after a trench collapse in Bargersville. County Road 225 North from County Road 500 West to 450 West is closed to all traffic at this hour. And there is a lane restriction on 500 West from 300 North to 200 North. Crews were called to the scene of the collapse just after noon today on a report of a man trapped in a construction trench. First responders could not see him and say it was too dangerous to go into the trench. The victim is presumed dead. The operation is now in recovery mode.
Right now, the financial cost of the brush fires in Australia is estimated at $485 million. And with the fight against the fires nowhere near over, the environmental toll may be impossible to measure. Cooler weather and rain helped firefighters strengthen containment lines around some of the fires, but the rain was not enough rain to put any of them out. In New South Wales, 130 fires are still burning, around 50 of which are out of control. Thousands of people have lost their homes.
The ferocity of this sort of fire is unbelievable, and we made the right decision to evacuate. For that I'm thankful. Yeah, but yeah.
I get a lump in my throat sometimes with seeing people who come and have to confront this. It makes me think how I would feel if it was me.
New South Wales police say 24 people have been charged for allegedly lighting brush fires on purpose.
A crew that spent more than a week stranded in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with no way to communicate is back on land tonight. One of the crew members says they use mirrors to catch the attention of a passing boat. ABC's Elena Gomez has the survival story.
Lost at sea and desperate for help, U.S. Coast Guard video shows the moments before a group of stranded sailors were rescued.
I was crying, and all of us, everybody, we were all crying on the boat. There's Jimmy over there.
Pete Brown and his crew started their journey in November with a travel route from Japan to Hawaii. But along the way, the crew hit rough waters, dismantled their masts, and were overturned by a large wave.
The water was coming up on her, getting up to waist high, and we're still upside down.
The crew managed to get their boat upright again, but the boat was damaged and had lost all communications, preventing them from calling for help.
Watched the stars and prayed and hoped that either way, my family was going to be okay.
Adrift in the ocean for more than a week, the sailors received the gift they'd been hoping for. A Coast Guard team found them and brought the group back to Hawaii.
It was a happy ending, and God answered prayer.
Pete's rescue came just in time to celebrate his son's 8th birthday today. Elena Gomez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
That had to be some scary hours out there, though, man.
Well, Todd Clausen joins us now, filling in for Kevin. It's nice to have you this late with us.
Normally I'm sound asleep at this point, and I will not be on Good Morning Indiana tomorrow, but I'll be back on Wednesday. But good to fill in for Kevin when he needed a day off. And it was a decent day weather-wise for us here across the area as temperatures climbed up into the 40s. In fact, with the high of 43 today, every single high temperature so far this year has been above normal. And to put things in perspective, our normal high should be 35. Kind of tuck that number in your head for a minute or two until we get to your 7-day planning forecast, and you'll see for the most part we will be running above normal for the next 7 to 10 days. 34 degrees in the city right now. The winds are calm, and we have partly to mostly cloudy skies. A little cooler outside of Indy at 28 right now in Columbus as well as Lafayette. It's 35 in Muncie, and here's a little bit of cloud cover moving through. And just across the state line, there's a few snow showers and or flurries. It's not out of the question there could be a flurry or two throughout the overnight hours or as you walk out the door tomorrow morning, but it's going to be nothing of consequence. It's not going to put down any accumulation. There's not going to be any slick spots come tomorrow morning, but you will need to bundle up as temperatures will be getting down into the 20s anywhere you go. 25 in Lafayette, 27 the low temperature in Columbus, and 28 in Richmond. Despite the chilly start, though, it's a day very similar to today. We may start off with a little more in the way of cloud cover tomorrow morning, but we get right back up into the sunshine. Temperatures get up into the low 40s. That puts us again above normal. It does turn a little breezy tomorrow. This little white line you see here, that is the wind speed, and we could see some wind gusts up to about 17 miles per hour. Looking ahead to Wednesday, it's the coldest day we have of the week. 24 degrees, your 8 a.m. temperature Wednesday morning, 28 by the noon hour, lots of sunshine, and then your high temperature Wednesday, 36. That's still above the average high of 35, and that's going to be, again, the coolest day of the week, because look what happens as we head into the latter half of the week. 53 on Thursday, 60 on Friday. The record high is 62. That could be in jeopardy, but the trade-off is a lot of rainfall heading our way. Look for rain to develop as we head into Thursday evening. It becomes heavy at times throughout the day on Friday. It becomes windy as well. It could be even a few thunderstorms working our way into Saturday morning. And then on the backside of the system, we do maybe work in a little bit of a wintry mix, but by far our biggest concern is going to be the potential for flooding. 2 to 4 inches of rain will be possible as we work our way from Friday to Saturday. The ground is already saturated, so that will be a big concern for us towards the end of the week. But until then, a few quiet days here with a good amount of sunshine as we work our way into Wednesday, Thursday. Even behind that storm system, temperatures still above normal in the low to mid 40s.
All right, ready to sleep?
Ready to sleep?
That's it. All right. Thanks, Todd, for that.
Dave First joins us now. We're talking Pacers.
Hey, don't sleep yet, Todd. Good evening. Shades of a few years ago, the Pacers avoiding these lengthy losing streaks have only lost 3 straight once this season, avoiding another one tonight down in Charlotte. Former Pacer David West in the building. Drove down from Raleigh to mentoring T.J. Warren, the two developing a really special relationship. But it took a bit for the Pacers to get going. And meanwhile, that's former IU star Cody Zeller. He had 14 off the bench. Hornets up 2 at the break, but the story of the game was Warren. He had 13 points in the third quarter. Pacers outscored Charlotte 37-21 in that same span. TJ a season high and game high 36 tonight. Domas Sabonis double-double, 18 and 12. Miles had 15. Good guys get the dub, 115-104. And despite giving up 39 points in the fourth quarter,
I'm getting comfortable a lot. Nate and his coaching staff and my teammates are doing a good job of getting
getting everybody to execute and getting guys in their spots to be successful.
You know, we gave up a big fourth quarter, but I like the fight. I love the fight that we finished this road trip with.
Yeah, they got the heat coming up on Wednesday. In college hoops, shades of a decade ago or so, Butler ranked 6th this week, the program's highest ranking ever. They're 14-1. They're at Providence Friday night. Little high school hoop for you tonight. Hoosier Hoop Hysteria started the Madison County Tournament. That's Jimmy Howe, 14th on the all-time wins list up at LaPel. And he watched Corbin Renahan pull up from 15 feet. Frankton of the Dark Unis crashing the board. Zach Davenport with the putback. Close one down the stretch. Carson Hubert from the corner hits the 3. Gets an and 1 out of this. He had a game-high 25. LaPel wins at 67-63. Kobe Bullard adds another 3. He had 20 tonight. Bulldogs now 7-4. Other Madison County opener. Pendleton Heights hosting Anderson Prep. Pendleton in white. Daverick Black right here. The steal and the finish the other way. Nice little left hand on the other end. He had 17 tonight. Prep's Jeffrey Langford drives the other way. But Pendleton with 5 guys in double figures. Gavin Greer with the big finish. He had 15. Heights wins it 92-40. Arabians now 4-5. They get LaPel and Wednesday semis at Alexandria. Hey, finally tonight, first and foremost from L.A. last night. Half-court shot. Watch this. Nothing but net. How much is it worth? How about a cool $100,000 from Mandalay Bay? Now, you might remember a Pacers fan from Louisville just hit a half-court shot a few weeks ago. He got a year's worth of Chick-fil-A, which on paper seems like the guy in L.A. got the better deal out of all this. Except, though, when you consider the cost of living in L.A., and I think it's actually about the same. $100,000 in L.A., a year's worth of Chick-fil-A here.
I don't know.
Have you been to L.A.?
Yeah, it's very expensive. And at least that's a meal every day for.
Good point.
Very
Thanks,
cool.
Dave.
Congratulations.
Do you have what it takes to get behind the wheel of the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile? If that's something you'd truly like to be, we've got details just ahead.
Happy hunting.
Jury selection in the Harvey Weinstein trial is set to begin tomorrow. He faces 5 felony charges in New York. Shortly after proceedings in that case started today, new charges were filed on the other side of the country. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest on this.
Just hours after Harvey Weinstein entered court in New York City for the start of his long-awaited rape trial, the now infamous Hollywood executive hit with new charges on the other side of the country.
The defendant used his power and influence to gain access to his victims and then committed violent crimes against them.
The Los Angeles district attorney now accusing Weinstein of raping one woman in her LA hotel room, then the next night allegedly sexually assaulting another woman in a hotel suite, all just days before appearing here on the 2013 Oscars red carpet with his pregnant wife. More than 80 women have accused Weinstein of sexual misconduct, but the charges he faces in New York stem from 2 alleged victims. Weinstein has pled not guilty and maintains all sexual relations were consensual.
This trial is to show the jury, the state of New York, and the world that there's more to this than they would like everyone to believe.
Monday, as the trial began, several of Weinstein's other accusers were outside the courthouse, vowing not to be silenced.
I join these other brave women who were also harmed by Harvey Weinstein to say we aren't going anywhere.
Harvey Weinstein's trial here in New York set to continue Tuesday morning with jury selection beginning at 9:30. That process alone could take 2 weeks or more. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
Doors were even there.
Well, now to a dream job. A job opportunity for anyone who's ever wished it. Just go.
If you ever wished you were an Oscar Mayer Wiener, the company is hiring a Wienerville spokesperson. The position requires going around the country in a hot dog-shaped vehicle like this one, being an ambassador for Oscar Mayer. The company is looking for outgoing, creative, friendly, graduating college seniors for the job. It is a 1-year commitment, by the way. So for more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com.
These guys give me the giggles always going to this last block, and when I'm tired, I just can't handle it. I get really hot.
No coming back from it either.
Blame us.
I kind of blame a hot dog on wheels, too.
Right? All right, all quiet the next couple days. Heavy rain, though, as we end the week.
All right, that'll do it for us. You good?
I can say goodnight. Good night.